Now, we keep saying it, but it's the truth. 2016 is not that far away. And as voters start thinking about the presidential election, how many options will they really have on the ballot? Here's a name that doesn't end in Bush or Clinton. It's Dr. Jill Stein. The presidential hopeful announced that she'd be forming an exploratory committee to seek the Green Party's nomination earlier this year. And just a couple of months into the possible campaign, Stein is kicking off a listening tour where she'll be talking to communities about everything from Black Lives Matter to the state of our climate. And she joins me now. Jill, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you so much, Alana.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
So this is not your first time thinking about running for president. You were the Green Party nominee in 2012. What's changed this time around?
You know, I think what's changed is that people went through twice now this cycle of hope and change, investing their hopes in a persuasive candidate from a party which is unfortunately sponsored by the same deep pockets that are sponsoring the Republican Party, the big banks, the fossil fuel companies, the war industry. And what do we have to show for it? You know, both parties that bailed out Wall Street, worse under Obama and the Democratic White House, and the Democratic Congress for that matter, to the tune of now $14 trillion we've been bailing out Wall Street. Under Bush, it was much less. We're expanding the wars. We're attacking our civil liberties. Students are in debt. The prison racist industrial complex is bigger than ever. The war on African Americans, the drug war, the Black Lives Matter campaign is a response to that. Students are standing up to say enough of debt. Workers are standing up to say we need living wages and we need jobs. The jobs that are coming back, you know, are really part-time, temporary, insecure, and low wage. So, you know, what's changed is that I think people have been through it twice now, investing their hopes in the best that the Democratic Party could do, and it didn't begin to do it. People have really moved. They are peeling away. If you look at 2014, the headliner really in 2014 was not a win for Republicans. It was a loss for Democrats, and it was people staying home that have basically checked out of both parties. So, you know, it's a historic moment, I think. It's a historic moment because we've really hit the wall on the economy, on jobs, on the climate, on student debt, on the crisis in the African American community, the crisis of police violence. People aren't going to sit there and invest their hopes in exactly the parties that have gotten us into this mess. So it's
I think
a very exciting
we certainly
time.
see a lot of dissatisfaction, you know, on the part of the American public. If you look at any opinion poll out there, they will tell you that faith in our institutions is now at historic lows and has been so for the last couple of years. But is that still enough to get people to actually vote for a third party, right? Because I think a lot of the time people just get scared. They so badly don't want, let's say you're a Democrat and you so badly don't want the Republican candidate to win, that you are still going to vote for the Democratic nominee, even if you feel like maybe they aren't going to live up to everything that you were hoping.
Well, what we saw happen in 2014 was that people just decided not to vote at all. The traditional base of the Democratic Party, labor, students, women, immigrants, didn't come out. So the Democrats have really lost momentum. They've really lost their engine. And you know, it really makes it clear that if we're going to give people a reason to come to the polls, we have to get out there and let them know that they actually have a choice. They have a way that we can create jobs, that we can stop this Trans-Pacific Partnership that's looking to be NAFTA on steroids after losing 5 million manufacturing jobs. People don't want that again. We have an opportunity to stand up. On health care, Obamacare, you know, in my state of Massachusetts, we call it Romney Care, same thing. The cost of health care has doubled for working America. You know, people aren't just going to sit there and take it. And I think the real question hanging in the balance now is, are we going to stand up? Are we going to take our future in our own hands? And our job, I think, is to get the word out. And with, you know, responsible journalists with real integrity who are actually giving people their choices and letting the public know that they do have choices. I think that's the name of the game, and word will spread itself because people have hit the breaking point, and we want to change that breaking point into a tipping point to take back our future.